Evening, everybody. Well, I don't know who is on social media duty for Arsenal tonight, but let's hope that they are a little bit more careful with their tweeting. After upsetting Jose Mourinho in the aftermath of the Spurs defeat at Sheffield United, the last thing they should be thinking of doing is sending out, I don't know, a mind the gap or anything crude like that, should the Gunners manage a win over Leicester tonight. Mikel Arteta's team have received a few more likes over the last few weeks, and despite taking a little time to reload after the restart, this Arsenal team has appeared to click. But even the manager will tell you they aren't up to full speed yet. Read any blog in recent times and Leicester City's hopes for Europe had been unplugged. Downtime hadn't helped, but they lost their thread before that, and in truth were struggling to reboot. Cue bite-sized Jamie Vardy in his 100th Premier League goal. Can the Foxes use that to stay in a hot spot? Chelsea have gone above them in the last few minutes on the ladder thanks to an early win at Crystal Palace, one full of drama. Will we expect the same tonight? Let me run through the two teams for you in what is a crucial game for both Arsenal and Leicester City. Emi Martinez is the Arsenal goalkeeper, Mustafi, Luiz and Kolasinac in the back three. Bellerin is the right wing back, Xhaka and Ceballos in the centre, with Tierney as the left wing back. Saka, Lacazette and Aubameyang are the three-pronged attack. Schmeichel is the Leicester goalkeeper, Albrighton is the right wing back. The three-man defence is Evans, Bennett and Soyuncu. No Chilwell, so James Justin switches out to left wing back. He played as a centre half of three, the right side of centre half of the three at the weekend. Wilfred Ndidi, Tielemans and Barnes in the centre of midfield, with Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy up top. The rain is coming down here at the Emirates Stadium on what it doesn't look like a July evening, but it is a huge match for both these two teams. Chris Cravenard, our referee, just checking with the fourth official that all the timings are on point. Leicester City about to get us underway, decked out entirely in blue with gold trim. They'll be attacking the goal away to our left. It's the red-bodied jerseys and white sleeves of Arsenal, white shorts and white socks, who will shoot to the goal away to our right, in which Kasper Schmeichel is currently standing, his legs astride of the goal line. Emi Martinez at the other end, all in lime green, is standing about 6 or 7 yards out of his goal mouth and is waiting for the first whistle of the evening, and we are off and underway on TalkSport, where you can just plug and play. Our app is easy for you to use, and you can switch between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Tonight we've got a championship game ongoing, Cardiff 1, Blackburn 1 on TalkSport 2 right now. The stories will unfold. Two sharpshooters who want to hit a high score, Arsenal against Leicester, and it's live and only on TalkSport. And Stuart Pearce, he's alongside me, the former England left fullback. These two have richly entertained when paired together over the years. Will the changes that they have made tonight and the changes they've undergone over the last couple of weeks change that? Will it be a cagier affair, do you think?
No, I don't think it will be. I think I can see it being quite an open affair, and as I say, both teams playing with a three at the back system, and it is which one can impose their system and their abilities within that system on the other. And I think Perez might have a decent opportunity just playing in behind a front two. He's taken that number 10 position, hasn't he? And I think he could cause a few problems.
Ball is sent up over the halfway line, looking for the run of Iheanacho. Iheanacho is blocked off by Kolasinac, and it runs all the way back to the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Earlier on today, we brought you live commentary of Crystal Palace 2, Chelsea 3 here on TalkSport. It takes Chelsea into third position. Watford have put a bit of distance between them and the bottom three, thanks to a 2-1 win at home to Norwich. That was on TalkSport 2, and it's Arsenal 0, Leicester 0 here in the Premier League. As the ball is sent long by Martinez out to the Arsenal left, it goes high up on the far side. It's headed in by Tierney, who gets it back off Xhaka and then moves out towards the left. He's about 2 yards in from the touchline when he's dispossessed over on that far side by Ndidi, who sends the ball infield to Iheanacho, who's given it up too cheaply. Lacazette has sent Aubameyang away into the penalty area. He scoops it back into a dangerous zone, and Charles Soyuncu reacts to that and hooks it into the evening sky, and Leicester City are able to bring it clear. Not before they're stopped in their tracks by the referee, who's got to deal with an injury to Kolasinac over on the far side. 0-0.
Yeah, looks a little bit groggy at the moment, just getting to his feet. So it's not too bad, he's all right. Let me just go back to my childhood. When I first started in primary school, the formation was 5-3-2, as in two defenders,
I was going to say it was 2-3-5, wasn't it? Sepia colours.
It used to be from the front back in those days, okay? And if you stop play just then, Arsenal were in exactly that position. They were.
2 at the back.
Yeah, 2 at the back, 3 in midfield, and 5 dotted across in sort of inside right, inside left positions. And that's probably what they're looking to get back to, going back all those years, what they're looking to get back to in an attacking formation, most teams nowadays.
Well, we did see something a little bit like that in the game down at Carrow Road a few weeks ago when Manchester United were trying to chase a place to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, when they went basically with one centre-half, didn't they, and everybody else was playing in Norwich territory. Here is David Luiz, who's back in the heart of the Arsenal defence once again. I think he's much better in a 3-man defence than he is in a 2. Mustafi, who's been particularly impressive recently and certainly has got some plaudits from the Arsenal fans when those seem to be far gone. His career didn't really take off. Every summer for the last 2 or 3 years they've been thinking about selling him, but he seems to have settled into this Mikel Arteta lineup. Arsenal have won 9 of their last 12 matches in all competitions, and their younger contingent are starting to garner a little bit of respect. Here's Xhaka, who's also refound himself in the team. Plays it square to Kolasinac, who's deep inside the centre circle. Back to the Arsenal half, and David Luiz, and Mustafi sees it back to his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, whose distribution has been particularly good. That's something that everybody has noticed since he stepped in for Bernd Leno. It's his 4th Premier League start in a row after Leno picked up an injury. Here on the left-hand side is Tierney getting up high into the box, looking for Saka, who's brought it down, tries to get the shot away. Sionchu comes across quickly and runs the ball out of the 18-yard box and towards the left-hand side where he clears. It's only as far as Xhaka, and immediately Arsenal come back again with Aubameyang facing up Ndidi across to Xhaka. On this right side, Bellerin wants the ball played in by Ceballos. He's got it, and he's just gone a little bit early there, and the offside flag is up. He eventually shoots, and Schmeichel saves just in case VAR were going to intervene. Arsenal did play on because the whistle hadn't gone.
Michael Brighton's just been caught out twice there in quick succession. First one, the cross from Saka, who just stepped off him and brought it down, but he managed to retrieve the situation. And then just an offside. I think he was caught out on the run. Whether he knew he was going to be offside or not, I'm not so sure.
Bukayo Saka just taking the ball down and almost getting in on that right-hand side. It was well read by Charles Sionchu, who does get coached through games by Johnny Evans.
They've been a great partnership, haven't they, this year, I think? The pair of them. Really good.
I think there might have been a bit of panic when Harry Maguire went for £80 million from observers outside Leicester City, but they were always confident that Sancho would do well. Now he's in a back 3 alongside Evans and Bennett, and Arsenal, who have had a lot of the ball inside opposition territory in the opening 5.5 minutes here on Talk Sport, are coming forward again, down the left. And Justin goes across and puts the ball out of play. Interestingly, I thought Justin would play as a left wing back. That's not the case at all. He's playing as a right wing back, and all Brighton's playing on the left. Yeah, it's a little bit unusual. You would have thought they might have gone the other way round on that one. Well, Brighton's more of a naturally right-sided player, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Justin has played at left full-back at some stage during the course of the season. He's played everywhere, to be fair. I like him, you know. You mentioned that before we started today. Yeah, he's done pretty well every time I've watched him. Well, Leicester do come into the game buoyed by that win over Crystal Palace at the weekend. They have only won 2 of their last 9 Premier League games, 13th in the form table. If you look at the last 17 games, compare that to the first 16 games of the season where they were comfortably in 2nd position. What's that down to? Well, the stats show that they've had less of the ball, marginally fewer shots, fewer chances, but an increase in shots that they have faced than the XG against, meaning that they have just been more likely to concede, and they have done. And that's been their undoing. It's why they've now slipped to 4th in the Premier League table. They need to win to ensure that they go back up above Chelsea. Mustafi goes to clear. Vardy shuts him down before he can release the ball. It goes out of play, and it's away for an Arsenal throw deep inside their own territory. 7 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Leicester 0. Yeah, Leicester have sort of almost gone with Vardy up front, running the line against the 3, and then just in behind him it's Perez and Iheanacho, isn't it? Very similar formation to the Arsenal one we saw on Saturday at Wolves. Here is Bellerin moving down the left. Saka tries to get Arsenal out of a tight knot inside their right full-back area. Ceballos chips it up towards the halfway line. Lacazette just pushes into the back of Johnny Evans, who drew the foul, and it's a free kick on halfway to Leicester. That's almost as if on Saturday Nketiah played as the point man, didn't he? And then the other two floated just behind him, but tight in as inside forwards. And that's a similar sort of situation that Leicester have got going on tonight, with Iheanacho and Perez just behind Vardy.
Yeah, they'll end up being sort of 3-on-3 at times at both ends of the pitch, really.
Let's hope it's an entertaining game. Usually matches between these two are. Here is Bennett in the rain at the Emirates Stadium, guiding it back to Johnny Evans, and then across to Soyuncu. A little turn, moving him over halfway, playing it into Vardy. It's into feet, and he switches to play very intelligently and very quickly out to the right-hand side, and Justin is up on that right side now, moving towards the edge of the Arsenal box. Shifting it left is Iheanacho, back into midfield and Ndidi. Leicester coming forward here, the rain relentless and steaming down. It's pushed forward by Tielemans onto Perez, who flicks it back into the penalty area with a little reverse ball, but it's cut out by David Luiz and sent towards the halfway line. You're listening to TalkSport live at the Emirates as Perez comes forward again for Leicester. 0-0 the score. It's fallen nicely for Vardy, who's very quickly turned and snapped a shot goalwards. It's straight into the arms of Emi Martinez. Our first sighter of goal.
Yeah, it was a decent effort. He got a nice turn on and got a shot away very quickly. Probably prior to that, the attack that just preceded that, they should have got a cross or an effort at goal. They didn't. They failed to do so. So it's important that they got an effort away then.
Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 1 is a full-time score from earlier. Sorry.
There's no need for that. It's just cheap abuse at this stage of the evening.
Brentford 2, Charlton 1, Luton 1, Barnsley 1, Reading 0. Huddersfield 0. They're all full-time scores from the Championship tonight, and that Fulham result came about courtesy of a Harry Arter belter in the first half in their game against Nottingham Forest. I think the teams that are in that Championship playoff zone now look as if they're likely to stay there. Cardiff maybe not, but Forest, Fulham and Brentford almost secured their positions now.
Yeah, and Derby obviously chasing them as well, so
Swansea aren't too far behind either. A collision over on the far side. Ndidi played it down the right, and Justin was just tripped by Tierney, and it's going to be a free kick to Leicester City, 10 yards inside opposition territory. Where's this rain come from?
I really don't know. It was a lovely day today, wasn't it, coming in?
Here is the free kick. Tielemans to take it. 10 yards inside opposition territory, wide on the right. He sends it long towards Bennett, headed away by Mustafi. Good header away. Ceballos brings it down. Lacazette wriggles free from Ndidi and moves into an advanced position. Tells Saka to move up the pitch, Lacazette, and eventually exchanges passes with Bellerin, who was a little bit dawdly and didn't return the ball to Lacazette. And Lacazette is turning round to 18-year-old Bukayo Saka and saying, when I get the ball in that position, you need to sprint faster and quicker into space inside opposition territory.
Yeah, he was just holding on to the ball, Lacazette, and he was fearful he was going to give possession away in his own half, I think.
0-0. 11 minutes gone here at the Emirates Stadium, and it is Arsenal in possession, midway inside Leicester's half. It's thrown into Xhaka and then given away, and Vardy is trying to go through the middle over the top after a ball forward by Ndidi, and Emi Martinez has come out and headed it clear, and it goes out on this near side and away for a throw. Leicester very quickly getting the ball up towards Vardy there, and that almost caught Arsenal out.
Well, if Saka wouldn't make that run forward, certainly Leicester have got a man in blue that will in Vardy.
Here's Albrighton trying to trundle his way down the left, a little flick away by Bellerin. It's the first corner of the game. It goes diagonally out of play, and it's away for a corner away to our left, and it's a little bit of a head of steam building up amongst the Leicester players, and here comes Soyuncu and Bennett and Evans to add a bit of height into the penalty area. It's a corner that will be taken by Albrighton, who can be at times accurate with his delivery. He's got a cracking right foot, but he sent it short to Perez and then back to Albrighton, and with his left foot drives it to the edge of the box. He shot low towards the goalkeeper, saved from Iheanacho by Martinez, and it was a good save as well because it came through a crowd of players. And Emi Martinez, deputising for Bernd Leno, has done well to deny Kelechi Iheanacho.
Brilliantly worked corner set play there from Albrighton, and Perez worked it, slid Albrighton in along the touchline, and his pullback was absolutely sublime. It really was, really well worked.
It was a really well choreographed attack by Leicester City, straight off the training ground, and Iheanacho ended up with the shot. It was pretty close to Emi Martinez, but it came through a crowd of players, and it was a good save. The score's Arsenal 0, Leicester City 0 on TalkSport with Now TV, and don't forget you can watch Arsenal versus Leicester live right now with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass from just $9.99. Search Now TV. This is TalkSport. Cardiff 1, Blackburn 1 over on TalkSport 2 right now. And remember, Laura will be back tomorrow morning on the breakfast show. Oh, Cardiff have just scored. It's been whispered in my ear. Cardiff 2, Blackburn 1. That will, if they manage to get 3 points tonight, certainly make them favourites to secure a playoff place as well. That's over on TalkSport 2, which you can listen to via our app, easy to download via the iOS and the Google Play Store, and then flick between the two. I must admit I was doing that a little bit earlier when following Chelsea and Crystal Palace and Watford and Norwich City.
Important victory for Watford tonight, wasn't it?
See Danny Welbeck's goal?
No.
I remember he once scored what I described at the time when we were in Kiev in the European Championships in 2012 as a PlayStation goal. Ooh. This one was up there.
In importance, it certainly was.
Yeah. Overhead kick.
Nice.
Here is Perez away to our left-hand side. TalkSport trying to retain possession. It goes out of play off the Spaniard, who you heard from in the build-up to tonight's action on TalkSport. He was in conversation with Alex Crook this week, talking about how influential Brendan Rodgers was. Mikel Arteta's got a few plaudits this week as well. He's standing outside of his technical area, trying to coach his team quite vocally, as he has done for most of these restart matches, as close to the pitch as possible. He's getting drenched in a black tight bomber jacket with very tight stone chinos on.
He's looking a little bit like Kelly Jones from the back, isn't he, from the Phonics?
Yeah, only about 3 foot taller. Here
That's tough, fella. That's tough.
I once met Kelly Jones in his dressing room prior to a gig, and he's the only person I've met for a very long time who's significantly shorter than me. 15 minutes gone. It's 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport. Don't let the devil take another day. What a cracking song that is.
We just led you into a nice little music handover, haven't we, again?
Here is Xhaka, just left of the centre circle, played out towards the right-hand side. It's sent on towards Bellerin. Bellerin flicking it down the touchline. A little back heel from Saka, and Bellerin will continue his run. Was there a foul there on Saka? The referee says there was, Chris Kavanagh, and it will be a free kick just in from the touchline. And it's with Arsenal once again. Arsenal 0, Leicester City 0, live on TalkSport tonight at the Emirates Stadium.
A little bit agricultural there by Seonchu coming in at the back of Saka.
Leicester don't have a great record here. They have taken just 1 point from a possible 39 across their 13 Premier League visits to the Arsenal.
I thought they might have done quite well, you know, in the Martin O'Neill era.
The answer to that is they didn't.
No, obviously not.
The last point they got was under Mark McGee in 1995. Here is Soyuncu on the left side, played out to Albrighton, slides the ball across the greasy wet turf, because it's for the last 10-15 minutes or so it's absolutely pelted it down with rain. Everyone on the field of play is absolutely drenched as Aubameyang picks up a loose ball in the centre circle. Lacazette looks to spring Saka down the right. Oh, it's given away, and Lacazette might have a second chance to do so. He approaches the penalty area, plays it on to Aubameyang. It breaks for Ceballos. Ceballos getting towards the edge of the Leicester D's in the centre of the opposition half, when he plays it back to Xhaka, who sweeps it wide left. It's now on to Tierney, who runs on the outside of Justin. Low cross into the near post, steered away by Johnny Evans, and it's out for a corner to Arsenal. It's their first of the game.
Well, on 2 or 3 occasions now already, Justin struggled to deal with Tierney, and Tierney's doing nothing special, just getting out his feet, pushing out his feet, and whipping crosses around him, and he's going to have to get on top of him, because that supply line will cause trouble eventually.
He's another one who has had a impressive post-lockdown period, Kieran Tierney. played under Brendan Rodgers at Celtic, 6 major honours while he was under the tutelage of the Leicester manager. Here is the corner. Xhaka and Mustafi making their presence felt. So is David Luiz in at the near post, headed away by Johnny Evans, who takes charge of the situation. Perez tries to spring a counter-attack and might just succeed in doing so. Mustafi has tried to win the ball and done just enough after falling over to nudge it into the path of Xhaka, who guides it all the way back via Tierney to his goalkeeper away to our left-hand side.
I think this is one of these games where neither team can afford to give possession away.
Saka has just done that. Here's Perez down the left into Vardy, who's on the angle of the penalty area. Low cross into the near post. Here Nacho was getting there, and across came David Luiz and pushed it out and away for a corner.
Yeah, both very good on the counter-attack, and a couple of times Arsenal have won it in the mid-third and attacked and got big numbers there. Leicester showing their teeth on that occasion as well.
I think it's a throw-in actually down by this corner flag away to our left. Didn't actually quite go out for a corner kick. And here is Albrighton, who's going to throw it back in, with Leicester all in blue attacking the goal away to our left. Look for Perez, cut out by Xhaka, taken to the right side and then played into Bellerin, who flicks it round the corner. Ceballos, Saka, who tries to stumble clear, plays it into Lacazette, who holds it up really well and then chips the ball forward, but Bellerin was in an offside position, and Lacazette is turning around to the fourth official and saying, shouldn't I have got a free kick there?
Yeah, what the ref's got to understand is when Lacazette's got a man right behind him, he can't get turned, he's got nowhere to go and can't see a teammate, that's the time to stop the game, because there is no advantage at that stage.
0-0. You're listening to Talk Sport. Gets a poor kick out by Schmeichel straight to Xhaka, and then Xhaka's floated it towards Saka inside the area. Soyuncu reads it, heads it clear. Albrighton getting back to help out and digs out the clearance, and it's into row 3 of the stand that we're sitting in. We're at the bottom tier of this big huge bowl of a stadium with nobody in it, obviously, as you well know now. Just right at the centre line, here is Xhaka from Lacazette, then Aubameyang, left side of the area, right-footed shot, opens it up, takes a little deflection and dribbles behind Bukayo Saka. Arsenal on the attack still, trying to wriggle free from Albrighton's grasp is Saka, plays a 1-2, gets free, plays it back again into the penalty area, blocked by Soyuncu, out and behind and away for a corner kick, but Saka there getting free down the right-hand side. He just needed a better delivery when he got there.
I mentioned earlier about Mark Albrighton getting caught out a couple of times. Great 1-2 by Saka there, and got in behind him once again, and on the other side as well. Justin having a few problems that side, and that's where Leicester look very vulnerable in those wing-back positions.
Talk Sport, 0-0. Arsenal against Leicester in the Premier League tonight. We've got more commentaries for you tomorrow. Here is Ceballos taking the corner in towards the near post. David Luiz thundered in with a header. It was glanced away at the near post. Comes back to Tierney, who rifles the ball forward, and it's saved by Schmeichel, who then sends it long upfield, looking for Perez to break, and Martinez comes brilliantly out of his goal, reads the situation and clears for Arsenal. Well, a couple of key incidents in quick succession. Tierney smacking the ball from fully 30 yards out, saved by Kasper Schmeichel, and immediately his decision was to distribute that upfield towards Perez, and he almost released it.
Well, I've got to say, some fantastic phases of play by both teams. First, Tierney getting on the end of things.
Here come Aubameyang into the penalty area, played in by Saka, and Aubameyang finishes 7 yards out, sweeping it beyond Schmeichel. A long ball forward down the right-hand side, Saka across the 6-yard box, and there was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to tidy up and push the ball beyond Schmeichel, and Vardy might have a fight on his hands for that golden boot, you know. It's Arsenal 1, Leicester 0.
Yeah, great movement there. We're just looking at the replay. They'll check this for offside, but Saka's made a fantastic run on that occasion. Maybe it's the touch of coaching he got from Lacazette last time out, but certainly made a great run from out to in. Soyuncu was never getting there and has gone to ground, and his ball across the face of the goal was perfection. But
really good ball by Saka.
We've seen some great play, haven't we? First of all, Arsenal shooting, then it's Schmeichel's delivered a kick up. It's gone from end to end to end. In the end, Arsenal have scored.
Soyuncu deep inside his own half. Lacazette, Saka and Aubameyang looking like a real danger going forward, and it was Saka and Aubameyang who combined on that occasion The 23rd goal of the season for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Lacazette guides it back towards Xhaka, just in front of the centre circle. He's bundled to the floor by Iheanacho, and it's going to be a free kick just left of the centre circle for Granit Xhaka. Here is Bellerin. Saka trying to turn away from Ndidi.
Last thing these players need now is a drinks break. It's pouring with rain. I don't think.
What do you feel about this? Chris Wilder said now we're playing a game of quarters rather than halves. Gary Neville says we've got to get rid of them as soon as possible. How do you feel about it?
I think it will depend. We're playing in the middle of the so-called English summer, so if it's baking hot, Sam, I think maybe common sense would suggest let's have a break. We're on a Tuesday evening in North London. It's been raining since the start of the game. The game is flowing brilliantly. I don't think anyone wants to stop in the game, personally. I know you can't make judgment calls as a referee as you go along, I understand that, but tonight would have been one of those nights, look, just play through till half-time, I believe.
As a manager, though, would you not like this period to be able to sit and talk to your players for a minute?
I think every manager and coach will tell you yes, they would. But if you're on the ascendancy like Arsenal are, I'm not sure it's helpful to Arsenal. How many times have we seen
a lot
the team that have got the ascendancy, all of a sudden it dies off and the game starts and the other team come into it?
Well, we're just about to get back underway again. So many times you've seen that these breaks have influenced proceedings.
It's been a fantastic start to the game
really
by both teams. They've been both at it, I think.
Well, Arsenal have got, on what looks like on paper, a very good front line, but up until today they'd only had 359 shots all season, which, okay, you just might ask, where does that rank? 14th in the Premier League, would you believe? They're not getting enough away, but they've certainly got a key one away tonight.
And when you consider they've got the second top goal scorer in the country at this moment in time in their ranks.
Well, second top goal scorer at the moment. He only needs one more to draw level with Jamie Vardy after that. It is Arsenal 1, Leicester 0, and for the latest odds you can head to the Betfair Exchange, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. You can back Arsenal to win at 1.46, you can back Leicester to win at 9.6, or back the draw at 4.4. It's all thanks to the Betfair Exchange. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. You're listening to TalkSport.
They've looked full of confidence, Arsenal, haven't they, you know? Watching them on Saturday and then watching them again in a couple of days later, they've been really impressed with the way they've played.
They look well structured, don't they? Here they come again. Lacazette sending the ball over the top for Aubameyang, sprinting clear into the penalty area, looking for Saka. Across comes Soyuncu and hooks it over the bar, and it's out and away for another corner to Arsenal, who look like they're going through the gears here.
Well, on that occasion, a great spin and turn by Aubameyang. He's driven into the box, whipped it across, trying to apply the favour to Saka, and it was just cut out on that occasion.
It looks sterner too. Clean sheets over Norwich and Southampton, okay, you might take those, but they would have been proud to have restricted to Wolves to just one effort on target. They've actually kept 6 clean sheets in their last 9 games, after 3 in 23 prior to that. Here's the corner, Ceballos into the near post, flicked away by Jamie Vardy. It's headed clear into midfield, and then Bellerin tries to play it back down the right-hand side for Arsenal. Ceballos into Saka. Saka under pressure from Tielemans. Tielemans is fighting for the ball, then Soyuncu, then Perez. It comes off, I think, Ceballos last, and it's going to be a Leicester City throw down in front of us, midway inside their own half, and a sopping wet Brendan Rodgers guides the ball back to Soyuncu.
Yeah, they've got quite an interesting little front three, Arsenal, there, haven't they? We've always said, why doesn't Lacazette play a little bit more with Aubameyang? And Saka seems to have come in and complemented the pair of them.
Well, you mentioned it at the weekend, didn't you? 50 goals between him and Aubameyang in 46 starts together. I suppose 51 in 47 now.
Yeah, it's impressive stats.
They work together well. They lead here, Arsenal, by a 1-0 on TalkSport. As Leicester, another setback for them in their race to hold on to a place in the top 4. They've been dumped out of 3rd position by Chelsea's win earlier. They need to win here to regain it. At the moment, they're behind. Elsewhere, Watford beat Norwich by 2-1, and Chelsea were winners away against Crystal Palace. Here's Aubameyang up towards Saka, and it's cleared by Bennett for Leicester City. Down the left it goes. It's headed away by Mustafi, and then it's collected by Perez, but he's huffed down a bit by Xhaka, who does incredibly well to bring the ball clear. He tries to get it forward to Lacazette. Oh, great touch by Lacazette. Then he sends it left for Aubameyang, and Bennett just guides it back to Schmeichel. But it was a really good composed touch by Lacazette, whose hold-up play already today has been very impressive for Arsenal, who lead.
Yeah, and they've had willing runners as well in Saka and Aubameyang going in behind.
Kolasinac weaving his way past Ndidi. He's got space out on the left-hand side. He uses Tierney, whose cross is too deep for everybody, and goes right over the top of the near stage. It was actually Xhaka who burst out down that left-hand side. I thought the cross didn't look as reminiscent of Tierney as possibly you would usually expect. Just a little bit overhit by Granit Xhaka, and it's out for a throw on this near side. 1-0 Arsenal lead.
I'm going to make a point now, Sam, and see what you think on this. Do you think when Ozil's in the team, they don't get the ball from back to front as quick? I'm looking at an Arsenal team that I haven't seen for a little while that get the ball through the thirds and from back to front very, very quickly.
Lacazette trying to grab hold of the ball, can't do so. Bennett out on this left-hand side. Well, again, there's no sign of Özil. He's got one of those back injuries that you get when the manager doesn't want you around. And Guendouzi obviously similarly is not being chosen. He's flexed his muscles a little bit, Arteta, and so far it seems to have worked in his favour. Here's Aubameyang down the left, sending it on to Lacazette inside the D. He's got Saka with him. He plays him in now. This is Bukayo Saka for 2-0. It's stopped at the near post with his feet by Schmeichel, and it's behind and away for a corner kick. But Arsenal, when they come forward at the moment, well, they look deadly.
They're scintillating because they're doing it at pace, and all three of the front three are very, very mobile, and they're causing Leicester a lot of problems, both in the wide areas and sort of in close in that sort of arrowhead between the three of them up front.
Cardiff lead by 2-1 over on TalkSport 2. Robert Nesta Glatzel, his 7th goal in all competitions this season, scoring for Cardiff. Full coverage of that continues over on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport, it's Arsenal who lead by 1-0, and they have a corner, yet another one, their third of the game, on this near side to be taken by Saka. It's deep towards the far post, flicked into the air by Iheanacho, and it will go out on the other side and away for yet another Arsenal corner. Arsenal lead here, courtesy of that Aubameyang goal.
I'll tell you who knits Arsenal together as well, Ceballos in the middle of the pitch. I like
good player,
it.
Isn't he?
Yeah, very good player.
I always thought he was a good ball player earlier in the season. He had some injury problems. He was in and out of the team. The reports are that Arsenal can't really afford to buy him permanently, but they will hope to try and convince Real Madrid to loan him again.
I think Ozil in a swap deal will be mentioned. There's every chance, I'll wager.
I think Özil's going back to Real Madrid, is it? Here is the corner over on the far side. Into the near post, flicked into the air by Jamie Vardy. It comes out to Aubameyang on this right side, immediately crossed in by Aubameyang, headed forward by Mustafi. Bit of pressure applied by him on the back of Ndidi, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to, free kick in front of the 6-yard box away to our right-hand side. Arsenal haven't given up finishing in the Champions League themselves, you know. Mikel Arteta says that they probably have to win all of their remaining games and hope that City don't win their appeal over a European ban. They started the day 6 points off Manchester United in 5th. They will go above Wolves if they get a victory here.
Well, it's not a bad start if you're Arsenal and trying to get in there, if you beat Wolverhampton and then potentially Leicester, who are sort of slightly above you in the table.
And Leicester's worries have come against teams in the top half of the table. Their last 9 victories have come against sides in the bottom half of the table. The last time they beat a top half team was November the 9th. Against
Manchester City. Arsenal.
Aubameyang, Saka. A little mishap by Soyuncu. Into the area. Saka tries to find Lacazette. Good spin. Great save down to his right by Schmeichel, who gets low and gets a massive big hand onto the ball to parry it clear. What a chance for Lacazette. Here comes Ceballos onto Bellerin, edge of the area, down the right, low drive into the near post, flicked away again by a brilliant left hand from Schmeichel over the top of the crossbar and out for a corner.
Yeah, I think on that occasion Schmeichel's prejudged there was a cross coming and he sort of thinned the cross, let's say, but prior to that, the save from Lacazette took it brilliantly right down below to his right hand and just parried it out.
Really good save by Schmeichel from Lacazette. And the second one wasn't too bad after he'd had to make a readjustment from Bellerin. Yeah, like you said, I think he thought there was a cross and made a movement to his right and then realised the open side was there and he flapped it clear. But he reacted well and he's kept Leicester in the game here because it's 1-0 at present to Arsenal. And they've picked up another corner here as they progress down the left touchline. It's taken a little deflection and it's popped away and out of play for another Arsenal corner. At the moment, they're dominant in the game.
They certainly are, and I've got to say, since the lockdown, this has probably been the best 20-30 minutes of football I've seen since I've been back live.
Well, we've seen quite a few games now between the two of us, haven't we?
We certainly have, yeah. Been very enjoyable, but this one I'm really enjoying. Fantastic. The standard, the pace of the game's fantastic.
Saka over on the far side to take the corner. It's a arcing one towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but I think it went out before coming back in, so a goal kick will be given to Leicester City. Bit of a let-off for them. 33 minutes, wow. You're right, 33 minutes have gone.
It's flown by, hasn't it?
And it is Arsenal who lead by 1-0, courtesy of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's 20th goal of the season. And with that goal that he scored, by the way, he ends up getting 20 in the Premier League for a second successive season, and he's the first person to do that since Thierry Henry for Arsenal.
I don't know how much I saw of Arsenal pre-lockdown and all this season, but this has been as strong a performance as I've seen from them.
Soyuncu just a little bit, appeared to be a little bit late on Lacazette. Lacazette certainly thought so. Referee didn't. And Lacazette's hobbled up to his feet again, and play has continued. But they're slick. They look pretty solid at the back so far. They've played the ball through the thirds nice and quickly. And that in turn has created chances.
Yep, and they've counter-attacked quickly.
And at the moment they look a more superior outfit to Leicester, but there's a long way to go. And here comes Jamie Vardy, and when he's on the ball anything can happen. Left-footed cross towards the far post, and he produces a ball towards Iheanacho, who dabs it home, but the referee has blown his whistle for an infringement. Now I wonder if Charles Massielis on the far side thought that there was an offside, or did it take a flick on the way through? But Vardy is certainly not offside as he goes down the left side. And was there a tug back on the edge of the penalty area for which the assistant Charles Massielis is flagging? I think there was a pullback on a defender in the centre, which is why I think it's Kolasinac who's pulled back by Iheanacho, which is why the goal's been ruled out. Yeah,
certainly looked that way. There was a bit of a coming together. I don't know whether Kolasinac was trying to block his run or whatever, but it was ruled out.
Tielemans into Iheanacho, another shot from him as he spins on the edge of the area and he balloons it over the top of the crossbar. Well, you do get the feeling that we might see a few more goals in this game. I don't want to jinx it.
Well, both teams have shown that they can create chances, the odd mistake at the back, and both teams very, very dynamic on the counter-attack.
And Jamie Vardy was the one who produced the cross, but the infringement came between Kolasinac and Iheanacho on the edge of the area as Leicester looked to get back level with Arsenal. And the producer back at base has whispered in my ear and said it's very unfair. How did you see it?
I know what it's like as a defender. You try to block the run of the centre forward, so potentially he might have initiated the first one, and as a striker you push him out the way to get to where you want to go. Yeah, I think you'd have to slow that one down and watch it a few times on replay.
Well, VAR have looked at it. Here is Aubameyang on to Tierney, tries to return the ball and then overcooks it, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right. Yeah, they would have checked it. They check any sort of incident of goal scoring, so they would have at least put it down as a check. But the flag was well up before Iheanacho put the ball into the net, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. They identified that straight away. But I've got to say, from Jamie Vardy's point of view, fantastic cross in the box. Great supply line.
Yeah. Here is Vardy again, winning a header ahead of Mustafi, Perez, Tielemans, and then out to the left and Albrighton. Brighton's cross takes a little deflection. It's whipping under the crossbar here. Martinez has to readjust. And he manages to glove it and pull it into his chest, and it remains 1-0 to Arsenal. One area where Arsenal might be a little bit vulnerable might be from set pieces. Sheffield United caused Arsenal a few grief in those zones in the FA Cup. Wolves' delivery actually wasn't good enough into the box really to cause Arsenal any real problems, but those three central defenders, you get the impression, might be able to be got at. They certainly have a history of being able to be got at.
Yeah, if you can get them isolated, or obviously movement from Vardy in and behind, then it could be a problem. But we've always felt as though Luiz is better suited as a member of a three-man defence rather than a two.
If I told you they're on the verge of keeping 4 straight Premier League clean sheets, and Skodran, Mustafi, David Luiz and Kolasinac have been at the heart of the defence for all three of them, you would be raising at least one eyebrow.
Yeah, but my other eyebrow would say, I think as a team they're defending a lot better from the front.
Your eyebrows are pretty vocal, aren't
I've got a lot of eyebrows and I raise them and lower them at will.
I hear that's what happens when you get to a certain age.
No, they just drop and you can never get them back again.
I'm talking about eyebrows. 7 minutes to go before the break. You're listening to Talk Sport in the rain at the Emirates Stadium in the middle of July, 7th of July today, and it is Arsenal 1, Leicester City 0. Mrs. Mataface's birthday today. Good job we did the picnic at the weekend.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's well, today wouldn't be a good day for a picnic.
No.
Even you couldn't swing that one round to put a smile on her face, could you?
No.
Anyway, going back to this game.
At least we're not talking about eyebrows. Here's Xhaka up to Ceballos, who flicks away from Tielemans into Lacazette, whips the ball out towards the near side, chested down by Bellerin. He runs into the Leicester half of the field, delivers a lovely cross to Lacazette, diving header, well saved by Schmeichel. It was a brilliant delivery. You could see the movement though of Lacazette, so it was a bit telegraphed for Kasper Schmeichel. He knew what was coming, but it was good movement from Lacazette, and it was a lovely little ball.
Oh, Bellerin cut inside on a 45-degree angle, and it was a wonderful pass, I've got to say.
Arsenal having to defend out the other end. Perez slopping aside, trying to get away from Xhaka. Droplets of water being thrown up with every tackle and with every sliding challenge inside the defensive thirds of both these two teams. There's going to be a free kick. I'm hoping that our producer Dick has followed the Premier League advice today and brought umbrellas with him. He has, thumbs up. Yeah. We were given that advice prior to the start of the restart, that we would have to bring umbrellas with us, just in case when we're speaking to managers after the game, we weren't allowed to let them get wet. I mean, Mikel Arteta, he couldn't get wet, not after spending 90 minutes having a shower. Here's Lacazette down the left-hand side, colliding with Evans. The ball's put out of play and it's away for a Leicester City throw. 5 minutes to go before the break. A satisfactory first half for Arsenal. What will Leicester City be thinking as they go into the second half, do you think?
I think a better supply of balls up to Vardy, because they're just tossing balls up forward to Mustafi, and Mustafi's enjoying coming through the back of Vardy. He's got to get balls into feet or slid down the side, and probably the two in Perez and Iheanacho have got to get on the ball in those number 10 slots that they occupy.
Over on TalkSport 2, a thriller of a game. Cardiff 2, Blackburn Rovers 2, the latest scoreline. And that's available for you on DAB+. It's available on our website and via the TalkSport app. And by the way, we have got enhanced audio tonight that we're broadcasting on our radio frequencies, but if you would like to listen with the natural sound inside the stadium, which is full of shouts and screams from quite a few people dotted around this low tier here, and then you can do via our website talksport.com. Here on the right side, the ball is with James Justin of Leicester City. It's Ndidi forward to the edge of the Arsenal D. Ceballos once again so good at reading the danger, nips in and wins the ball, and as it's played up to Lacazette, Lacazette wins a foul. Evans is penalised, free kick to Arsenal just short of the halfway line. Yeah,
I think Justin has got to, when he gets the ball, some really good interchange of play by Leicester there. Swept the ball out to the right wing back in Justin, and he's fronted up with Tierney, and as Tierney's done to him, he's run at him, dropped his shoulder and whipped crosses in. Justin's got to do exactly the same, give him a piece of his own medicine.
18-year-old Bukayo Saka has just been called over by Mikel Arteta for a few words down in front of us. A little chat from Mikel Arteta. There's a few old Arsenal faces in the stands here today. I saw Freddie Ljungberg upstairs and Kolo Touré on the Leicester City backroom staff, isn't he?
He certainly is, yes.
Arsenal 1, Leicester City 0 on TalkSport with the next generation Nissan Duke. Together, let's move beyond. 5 shots on goal for Arsenal so far in this first half, but they only lead by 1-0. But I think they've probably come out of this first 45 being the most dominant team.
Yeah, that would be fair to say. They've been the slicker team. They've been the cuter team playing through the thirds, I think.
Here is Mustafi up to the halfway line, chested down by Lacazette into midfield and Ceballos hacked into the air, and Tierney is sprinting away on the far side. He moves up towards the left edge of the penalty area. He produced a low cross. It's stepped over by Xhaka, and then Saka, who was coming behind him, was outfoxed as a result of that, and Leicester managed to clear up over the halfway line. Kolasinac recycles it down the left touchline. It goes out of play, and it's away for a throw-in. So 1-0 to Arsenal here. Watford winners earlier by 2-1. Crystal Palace beaten at home by Chelsea. It means Chelsea are in third position at the moment, unless Leicester can turn this game around. Here is Perez inside the centre circle, swung out towards the near touchline. Albrighton 3-4 yards in from the touchline, plays it square. It's picked up by Tielemans and then on to Ndidi. Ndidi to the right, and Leicester City enjoying a spell of possession but not really going anywhere. Soyuncu, Turkish international, to Perez, who spins away, back to Soyuncu once again. Now Perez, space for Tielemans, and then on to Ndidi. Ndidi sends it wide out towards the right, where it's collected by Bennett. Ndidi, so important to Leicester City. The statistics back up the fact that when he is in the team they perform so much better. Perez out to the left. Albrighton playing at left wing back today, tries to nudge the ball infield and can't find a blue shirt, and the red ones bring it clear over the halfway line, and Bellerin is scampering away after Saka allowed him to race clear down the right side. Low cross into the area, looking for Lacazette. Retreating was Justin, and he's kicked it back towards his own goal, and Schmeichel has stopped it from going for a corner. But again, another quick, slick Arsenal counter-attack.
They're looking very, very sharp on the counter-attack. Brilliant play then. They've got some good pace in the side.
They can afford to do that now as well with that 1-goal advantage as well, Stuart.
Yeah, they certainly can, but I think it's almost a team tactic now. I think he wants to get the ball forward as quickly as he possibly can.
Vardy and Mustafi have had a little bit of an interchange on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, and Mustafi's not entirely comfortable. He's gone down clutching his face. I think the ball went up towards him. He stretched for the ball, and then Jamie Vardy, as the two ended up in a collision, ended up kicking out at him.
No, I don't think he's kicked out.
Well, his left foot's come up into an odd position into his face.
I just think that was a natural way of falling, personally. I don't think he would have hurt him, but it was certainly would have hurt Mustafi.
Well, it's gone. The left boot of Jamie Vardy has gone right into the face of Shkodran Mustafi, who's going to need some serious attention now. And deliberate or not, that is going to sting.
Yeah, he's just got to be fortunate that his studs haven't caught his eye, I hope.
Well, attention is being given away to our left-hand side. No suggestion of any VAR, according to our intrepid producer, Deck, who's keeping an eye on things for us. Gives me the opportunity to tell you about a few of our podcasts which are ongoing, which you can download at any time. Our TalkSport Daily podcast is a pretty useful tool. It gives you a quick whip around everything that's happened on the station in one day. 4 a.m. every weekday morning, you can have that in your inbox. All you need to do to subscribe is go to the TalkSport Daily feed, which you can find on our Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Acast, or anywhere else you get your podcasts from. TalkSport Game Day podcast on there as well. Some of the upfront documentaries that we produced during lockdown available for you. And of course our app gives you that opportunity to listen again to some of the best bits of our programmes. Just watching back the celebrations in the aftermath of the goal from Aubameyang. They've sort of abandoned the idea of socially distanced celebrations now, haven't they? They've just gone back gone back to the way it was before, just all hugging each other at close quarters.
Well, you couldn't get any closer than the three of them in their celebration.
I mean, there was a Saka, Lacazette and Aubameyang. They were just squeezing each other to death.
You couldn't get a Rizzler paper between them, could you? That's how pleased they were.
It was a bit like me getting a bit too close to you earlier on, wasn't it?
Yes, I don't know what got into you there.
I got a little bit excited, didn't I? And then I remembered where I was and what I was supposed to not be doing.
And who I am, yes, exactly.
Well, we're close now, aren't we? Well, there's another collision of heads here. We've only been underway for 3 passes, and the ball's gone up into the sky, and Kolasinac has collided with Iheanacho, and the physios have come back on again, and we're going to have a further few added minutes of additional time at the end of this first 45. And it was Kolasinac heading the back of Iheanacho's head. Both of them are up pretty quickly, I must say. Tomorrow, by the way, 6 o'clock, Manchester City against Newcastle is live in the Premier League on TalkSport, whilst on TalkSport 2, commentary from Ian Dancer of Sheffield United against Wolves. We've also got Sheffield Wednesday versus Preston tomorrow night on TalkSport 2, which is an exclusive game to us, and that will be an absolute cracker. Leeds Stoke on Thursday night is the one I'm looking forward to. I talked to you about that a little bit earlier on, didn't I? 5 o'clock on Thursday, that one. Here is Tielemans. Ball back to Albrighton. Cleared by him up to Iosi Perez, who's deep inside his own half. He's been trapped by Ceballos, stalked by Saka, goes back to Albrighton. He sends it clear to halfway. Mustafi snaps it forward. Bennett reacts well, and it goes all the way back to Schmeichel in the goal away to our right. Interestingly, the reports I got from Saturday was that Bennett did very well in the 3-man defence at the back after coming on for his Leicester debut in that game against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, this is a different game though, against a different formation.
Brighton down the left, deep ball towards the far post. Iheanacho tries to get there. Justin does, and heads the ball well wide of goal, and out for a goal kick away to our left. Good chance.
It certainly was. Got him well on the far post.
Well, there is the half-time whistle. Arsenal don't often get outfoxed by Leicester at home, and they are on course to register a 27th unbeaten home game against the team from the East Midlands, for whom the Champions League dream is coming under serious threat. All because Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang finished off a square ball from Saka after a quick counter-attack from Arsenal. It means that Aubameyang is on the shoulder of Vardy in the race for the Golden Boot, and Arsenal are in front at the break. Arsenal 1, Leicester 0. The two teams are now out on the field of play, which is good news. Arsenal just placing the ball down in the centre circle. No changes, I don't think, from either of the two teams at half-time. You did spot that Barnes was doing an extensive
He was the only sub out, yeah.
He's not restarted in the team for the second half. The whistle has gone and blown, and after a little brief delay, Lacazette has got things started by nudging the ball back to the goalkeeper. I'll run through the 2 11s for you, starting off with the home team, Arsenal, who have Martinez in goal, who I think probably is the best backup goalkeeper I've seen in quite some time. He's sent the ball forward to Saka at the moment, and Arsenal immediately on the attack with Aubameyang, who's flagged offside. So Martinez is the goalkeeper, Mustafi, David Luiz and Kolasinac the back 3, Bellerin and Tierney are the wing backs, with Ceballos and Xhaka in midfield. Saka, Lacazette and Aubameyang are the 3-pronged attack. Schmeichel, Evans, Bennett and Soyuncu are the 3-man defence for Leicester. Albrighton, Ndidi, Tielemans and Justin are the midfield quartet, with Perez behind Iheanacho and Vardy. And Mikel Arteta is standing out on the edge of the technical area, still moving in time with the rhythm of the game. He was coaching all the way through that first 45 minutes, Ceballos in particular, Saka as well. Here is Vardy getting into opposition territory. Justin gets free, gets a shot in, hits the face of David Luiz and is cleared away.
Great movement once again. Vardy down the left wing channel, pulled a fantastic ball back, done really well.
Well, Jamie Vardy raised optimism with a 100th and 101st Premier League goal at the weekend against Crystal Palace. I read yesterday that a group of Leicester fans had escaped the local lockdown to go and watch the match together in a pub in Nottingham. They had kept their noses clean until Vardy managed to score, and then their identities were revealed and they had to scarper. Not the brightest thing to do, but Jamie Vardy does always seem to set off a frisson of electricity whenever he picks up the ball. Meanwhile, over on TalkSport 2, by the way, it's Cardiff 2, Blackburn 3. Could be a key goal in the race for the playoffs. We've played 2 minutes of the second half. It's Arsenal who lead here by 1-0. But Leicester have come out with a little bit of zip on this greasy turf. It's a cold, wet evening here at the Emirates Stadium. And down the left, Brighton has delivered a ball into the penalty area, looking for a Iheanacho. Out comes Martinez, rather commanding as he plucks it from the sky, and the ball is pumped away towards Ceballos. So it is 1-0 to Arsenal. Aubameyang on the near touchline, back to Tierney, then David Luiz, who sends the ball down the left touchline towards Aubameyang, who's hugging it right on the chalk. He nudges the ball infield. Lacazette tries to spray the ball to the far side. It was asking a bit of Bellerin because it was behind him. He plays it against Albrighton. It goes out over on the far side. Albrighton's playing as the left wing back, Justin as the right wing back in this Leicester formation, which they tweaked over the last couple of weeks to try and get themselves back on track. Brendan Rodgers has always been quite a sanguine character, even when results weren't going too well for them. They had such a big dip after the Christmas period when they played Manchester City and Liverpool back-to-back. But he didn't panic, he didn't make wholesale changes, he didn't bomb people out. It's just all been very evolutionary rather than revolutionary.
I'm not sure it's a blip when you play Man City and Liverpool, is it? It's an expectation these days, they're that good.
Yeah, but they did go on quite a poor run after that, didn't they? Where I think they've only picked up 3 or 4 wins during the period of 2020. Here is Tielemans back to the left-hand side, onto Albrighton. Tielemans tries to turn. And they haven't won here for a while. It's more than a blip, their form at Arsenal, whether it be at Highbury or at the Emirates Stadium. Here is Aubameyang out to the left, looking for Tierney. Tierney down the left side tries to guide it back to Xhaka, and Arsenal taking no chances, and it's collected by Kolasinac and then sent all the way back to David Luiz. September 1973, Leicester won at Arsenal the last time, Division 1.
Keith Weller, did he score?
No. Leonard Glover and Mike Stringfellow. Goal scorers in a 2-0 win at Highbury. Rod Stewart just recorded a new entry into the charts at number 20. Oh no, not my baby. Angie was a brand new entry at number 9 by
Rolling Stones.
Well done. And the number 1 was Young Love by...
I'll need a clue on that, I'm afraid.
Okay, it was a solo singer from a family of vocalists.
The Osmonds, someone from the Osmonds.
Yeah.
Donny.
Yes. Oh, he got there. Well done.
Got there eventually.
Yeah, Donny Osmond with Young Love. A long time ago. Here is Tierney. I don't remember, it was before I was born. To Xhaka. Xhaka just in front of the centre circle, up to Lacazette, who gets bundled from behind by Johnny Evans. And that's going to be a free kick about 4 or 5 paces back from the left edge of the D.
This is, I think in these conditions with the slippery surface, this is a fantastic place.
Who would you be asking to take this free kick? Ceballos seems to look interested. David Luiz has a history, and Aubameyang is standing over it as well.
Yeah, I think with the way Luiz gets it up and down, this might be his sort of area, because the wall's put up, it's not that close to goal. The wall are, probably right on the edge of the box, maybe half a yard.
So it suggests that it's 29 yards from goal. This is quite some way out for David Luiz, but he comes up and sort of approaches the ball with that side foot, doesn't he? And then it somehow gets up and down very quickly, and he's now ushered away everybody. There is a 4-man wall which Lacazette is standing in front of, and David Luiz approaches the ball. He runs up, hits it side-footed through the wall towards the far corner. It's saved brilliantly by Schmeichel, who goes down very quickly to his left and fingertips the ball round the post.
Yeah, he's got an open side there. Lacazette forming a great barrier on the end of the wall with Saka, and the ball obviously in these circumstances very, very slippery, bouncing just in front of him.
It's a good free kick, that, well worked, and Saka played his part by just moving infield to create the space from the wall. And David Luiz forced Schmeichel into a save, the first save of the second half, which Arsenal lead by 1-0 in the Premier League. Leicester City relegated to 4th in the division after Chelsea's win earlier. The corner comes in, punched away. That comes back to Ceballos, who strikes it, deflection over the top. It'll be another corner.
Good block by Perez there, I think it was. Drove out, managed to get a shoulder on it or something.
Here, it was Ceballos who struck the ball, and Perez just seemed to get his hip in the way, didn't he?
There's an important block.
He's out for another Arsenal corner. They've had quite a few tonight. That's the 8th they've had so far this evening. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil. Saka raises his right arm and then delivers a deep one towards the far post. Header down by Mustafi is off target, and he didn't land particularly comfortably. And he needs attention again, but Leicester want to get on with things quickly, and Schmeichel smacked it upfield looking for Jamie Vardy, and Vardy and Tierney end up in a confrontation, and he pushes Tierney to the floor. The referee blows the whistle. Mikel Arteta's not happy. We've got one defender of Arsenal down in one box, and the other defender, Tierney, down in the other box.
Yeah, and it
which one do you treat first?
Mustafi has got a look of a man who's in a lot of pain holding his ribs. I think Tierney's alright, but the other end not so sure.
Well, there was a collision at the back post, wasn't there, where he seemed to go over the top of Justin, and then he landed on the floor, and his own elbow seemed to go into his own ribs, if that makes any sense, just because of the way that he landed. He might have taken a knock of the shoulder on the way down too. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, and I mentioned it in the first half, he's been pretty reliable for Arsenal. He's become quietly very important in the team. They've been trying to get rid of him ever since they signed him, but he played 90 minutes under Emery this season, just once. Reborn under Mikel Arteta. He's played 18 of the last 19 Premier League matches. Arsenal 1, Leicester City 0 on TalkSport with Now TV. Don't forget you can watch Sheffield United versus Wolves and Brighton versus Liverpool live tomorrow with a Now TV Sky Sports Pass from just $9.99. Search Now TV. And TalkSport tomorrow's got commentary on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 from 6 o'clock. We've got live commentary of Manchester City against Newcastle with myself and Danny Mills tomorrow. Sheffield United against Wolves with Ian Danter and Mickey Grays on TalkSport 2. That's an exclusive. And so is Sheffield Wednesday against Preston, which comes straight after on TalkSport 2 with Mark Wilson and Neil Redfern. Huge games on Saturday as well. Game day, 5 exclusive commentaries. TalkSport 2 brings you Watford, Newcastle. Norwich, West Ham is on TalkSport. Liverpool against Burnley. We've got Blackburn versus West Brom on TalkSport 2. And then back here on TalkSport, I'll be at Sheffield United against Chelsea. And Brighton, Man City's on after that. It's non-stop. Just the way we like it. Here's Vardy, off and non-stop. Delivers across into the box. Here Nacho on the volley. Shoots, and it's saved down low to his left by the goalkeeper Martinez. Mustafi can come back on and get back into the heart of the defence, and you could see that he was missing there because he'd gone off for treatment, and as Leicester attacked there was one less man at the back for Arsenal, and Iheanacho almost took full advantage. It was a good cross from Vardy again.
He's delivered some wonderful crosses, Vardy, you know, renowned for what he does in front of goal, but his supply line's been outstanding.
1-0 to Arsenal. Aubameyang putting pressure on Bennett. Goes back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel clears. Oh, it's not a great ball into Ndidi. He deals with it okay. Bennett doesn't. Ceballos brings it back again. Here is Tierney into Ceballos, and then back to Tierney. A little nudge away from Iheanacho. Good play by Tierney. And it's all the way back to David Luiz. The Foxes have caused Arsenal so many problems in recent games. They've won 3 of the last 4 meetings. But away from home it has been tricky for them, as we've already mentioned. They might not like coming to Arsenal, but they haven't done too bad in London. They've been unbeaten so far this campaign in the capital. They're going to have to make some changes to try and alter the outcome of this game, and Mick Stow is just going over to the substitutes and getting hold of Christian Fuchs and Harvey Barnes. Those two about to come on, I think. Here is Aubameyang at the other end, trying to get away from Bennett. Bennett gets in front of him and clears. Bennett, who Brendan Rodgers tried to sign for Swansea City when he was the manager there. Says he knows him well, trusts him. Ceballos, holding on to it inside his own half. Goes it towards the halfway line. A nudge round the corner for Kolasinac. Tierney, Aubameyang, and then back to Kolasinac. And then off the ball, Bennett has just smashed into Tierney. Was there an arm raised there? VAR going to look at that. Mikel Arteta wasn't particularly happy. He was straight out asking for a card.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I'm just having a little look on the replay on that. Yeah, he just took his run and he's holding his face, and there was no contact with his face at all.
Right, Bennett just shrugs his shoulders and so didn't really do too much wrong there. Harvey Barnes coming on, Christian Fuchs coming on. They're going through the flip chart. Final instructions. I wonder what changes that will make. Well, I wonder if Old Brighton will come off and be replaced by Fuchs, and Justin will go to the other side. Fuchs will go straight over on that side. And Barnes will come into a midfield area, and they maybe take a central defender off and go to a back four like you were saying at half-time.
I've got a feeling they might do that, because Arsenal, shape for shape, are the better team at this present moment.
Ceballos has a free kick, a couple of yards in from the touchline. He's got Arteta barking instructions at him again as the ball is delivered poorly, straight over the top of everybody inside the penalty area and out for a goal kick away to our left. So here comes the first changes of the night, and the changes are being made by Brendan Rodgers, whose team haven't really been able to get at Arsenal in any real way since they had a goal chalked off. Iheanacho adjudged to have fouled Kolasinac. I think at half-time a few people thought that was soft. Well, they're not taking off a centre back, they're taking off a centre forward. Iheanacho being replaced by Barnes, and Old Brighton being replaced by Fuchs. So I don't think they're changing shape.
No, they're certainly not.
I think Perez maybe will flank Vardy on the right side and Barnes on the left. If they are changing shape, it's just a little tweak rather than a massive tinker. I don't think you can have a massive tinker, can you? Well, you could be a massive tinker, can't you? If you're a little bit naughty. And on the large side, ball cleared away by Schmeichel up towards the halfway line. Aubameyang picking it up. Don't mind me. Aubameyang trying to twist away from Ndidi. Back into Justin. Justin tries to steer it all the way back to his goalkeeper and succeeds in doing so. 1-0. And Arsenal were pretty good at killing the game and nullifying Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday, and they've been good so far in doing that to Leicester City. I think Mikel Arteta is pretty clear that he knows his team aren't at full tilt yet, but he knows he's got to get through games and win games at the moment, so that means he can't take the handbrake off. Here is Barnes, edge of the area, trying to curl the ball to the far corner from some distance. It was a speculative effort which doesn't trouble the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez.
No, they'll be looking for Harvey Barnes' pace to trouble Mustafi in that sort of wide area.
Surprised they took off for Iheanacho?
Yes, I am actually. I thought they might just go to a 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2 scenario.
Well, Arsenal have looked a lot more structured in the game so far. I mean, they switched and changed back fours and threes under the tutelage of Unai Emery 28 times. A bit more settled under the new manager. Seems to be getting his message across no matter what language it is in. He was shouting in French, Spanish and English in that first 45 minutes.
Modern day manager, huh?
Yeah. You're just Italian and English, aren't you?
Yes, well, un po' Italian.
It's a little Italian, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm on the same page.
Well done.
Free kick taken by
page one, that
was in front of us, about 15-20 yards inside opposition territory, just a shade right of centre. He works a set piece in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper's come out commandingly as well. He's done very well, I think, Emi Martinez, since coming into the team. Would you agree with that?
I would. I certainly would. His handling, certainly tonight, has been very good, and Saturday as well. We've been fortunate enough to see Arsenal.
His distribution's pretty good as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
He hasn't had too many shots to save in this game. Arsenal 1, Leicester City 0. You're listening to TalkSport live at the Emirates Stadium on a night which could really throw open the gates to the Champions League, because Leicester City losing here, Chelsea winning, would just shake things up just a little bit, especially with Manchester United still to play on Thursday night. They've got a big game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa will be desperate for a win after Watford's victory earlier today. So there is certainly a lot to play for this week. And we will be across it all on TalkSport. You'll be able to react to it as well on the Sports Bar tonight and throughout the week. The only place every night to have your say on the footballing action. 08717 223344. I'm sure there's some Watford fans who want to react to their win today. Ball on the left is with Barnes. Barnes moving towards the left edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Shuffles it back to Tielemans. Set up for indeed a strike. Smacks it into the body of David Luiz. It breaks to the right side. Collected by Bennett. Bennett now on to Justin. Justin back to Bennett again. Swept in towards the near post. Blocked by Ceballos. It's touched away by Bennett. And then it's played off by Evans. The Spaniard Ceballos took the last touch. It goes out for a throw-in. Another Arsenal defender is down inside the penalty area. David Luiz this time needs some treatment.
Yeah, I think he got a good block on the shot from Ndidi. And Barnes' pace just causing a little bit of a problem. This is what happens when you put a player on with a bit of pace. It's the first header Mustafi's missed. He's just got under the ball. And that all comes about because you're a little bit concerned about the pace of Barnes running in behind you.
TalkSport live at the Emirates on a wet night in North London. The sopping wet shirt sticking to the player's chest as the ball goes in towards Barnes from across from Justin. He heads the ball down towards goal, but it's gobbled up rather easily by Martinez and cleared away by Arsenal. 18 minutes gone in the second half. They're in the final minute over on TalkSport 2, where Blackburn Rovers are on the verge of giving a bloody nose to Cardiff City. 3-2 they lead Blackburn away from home, and that will make a difference in the Championship. It will encourage the likes of Derby County, who, if they win their game in hand, will only be outside the playoff places on goal difference.
It's getting extremely tight. I think the playoffs will be outstanding in the Championship this year.
Looking forward to them. They're all live on TalkSport. The ball is back with Schmeichel up over the left-hand side towards Christian Fuchs, who helps it down the left for Barnes. Barnes gives it away, wins it back, gives it back to Fuchs, who sends it down the left side, looking for Perez to run the channel. Interception from Kolasinac, not a great one. It's forward again by Barnes, looking for Vardy. Here is Tierney under pressure. He swipes at the ball, and it just hooks into the sky and rams out on this near touchline, and it's away for a throw, which Vardy wanted to take quickly, didn't, hesitated, and threw it back into centre field. 1-0 to Arsenal.
And I think as long as it stays 1-0, there'll be nervous times to come for Arsenal. I think they'll need the second against the Leicester side, who are just coming into the game a little bit, aren't they?
Well, look what we saw earlier in the Chelsea Crystal Palace match. Chelsea should have been over the hills and far away. Wilfried Zaha unleashes a thunderbolt, which went past Kepa Arrizabalaga. And all of a sudden, the whole tone of the game changed. And even when Chelsea went 3-1 up, they conceded so quickly after that the last few minutes were a real roller coaster ride, weren't they?
Yeah, they certainly were. That game could have gone anyway.
Here is Barnes on the edge of the penalty area. That game was another one that we brought you live here on TalkSport earlier on today. Ball is on halfway, and it's with Evans. Leicester just starting to up the amount of time they're spending inside the Arsenal half of the field. And whether Arsenal can be resolute, as they have been over the last few matches. They've kept a lot of clean sheets recently. I mentioned earlier that they've started to find their steelier side. And can they keep Leicester City at bay? Can they keep Jamie Vardy at bay?
Well, certainly it will be an impressive clean sheet if they keep one tonight.
Here is Barnes over on the far side. Retreating, finding Soyuncu on the left side of the defence. He sends it on towards Tielemans. Tielemans centrally to Ndidi, out wide towards the left, and it's picked up by the right, and Bennett to Justin, back to Bennett again, then into Ndidi across towards the edge of the centre circle. About 5 yards in front of that is Tielemans, and then further on down the right channel is Perez, who flicks across into the centre. Falls to Vardy, turns, spins, gets a shot away but doesn't get it cleanly. It hits Mustafi and it spirals out with the ball splashing across the wet turf out towards the near side. Back in again towards the near post. Easy for the goalkeeper, that, from the cross from Christian Fuchs. It's grabbed by Martinez, and Arsenal just slow things down again. 1-0.
Yeah, Vardy won't be happy with himself there. Ball come across, skidded across the face of the goal. Got a great first touch with his right foot, and his second foot on swivelling just got it horribly wrong. The game just starting to open up, isn't it?
6 clean sheets in the last 9 games for Arsenal. Here comes Bellerin down the right. They won another one today. Bukayo Saka gets into the penalty area. His cross into the near post is steered away by Bennett. Comes out as far as Xhaka, who leaves it for Ceballos, gets it back again, sends it wide. Aubameyang, Tierney on the overlap. Decent cross required. It's in towards the 6-yard box, and boy was it a decent cross. And Johnny Evans had to slide in and hope that that ball went over the top of the crossbar. Good defending, but it was a dicey cross to deal with.
Yeah, as all good fullbacks would do. Tierney there just whipped it into a space. If you can't see one of your teammates, put it into an area, and he nearly induced an own goal, but Evans fantastically equal to it. Good defending.
Really good ball in from the left-hand side by Kieran Tierney, and we've seen that a few times. Arsenal may be about to make a change with Eddie Nketiah coming off the bench very shortly. Joe Willock is warming up too, down in front of us. Here is the corner, taken by Ceballos into the near post. David Luiz heads it down, and Lacazette taps it home. Offside flag is up. Well, Arsenal celebrating what they thought was a second goal, but their hopes are dashed by the flag over on the far side by Sean Massielis. Lacazette's head is in his hands. It was very, very tight indeed, but Lacazette is adjudged to have been offside. VAR will check it. I think he's offside.
You've got to hand it to Sean Massielis. That was a wonderful decision, wasn't it?
It was literally a centimetre.
It was.
And they spotted it.
Yeah, Lacazette questioned it, but when you see the replay, you think it's so minimal, it's incredible.
Well, we needed the lines to guarantee that we knew it was offside.
Yeah. And sometimes I think the officials don't get the credit they deserve for getting decisions like that right.
It's currently Arsenal 1, Leicester 0. We're in the drinks break on Talk Sport. The end of the third quarter, as I'm sure we will start to call it very shortly. And for the latest odds, you can head to the Betfair Exchange, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. You can back Arsenal to win at 1.36, Leicester to win at 17, or the draw is 4.7. That's all thanks to the Betfair Exchange. More ways to bet, more ways to win. 18+Bs, gambleaware.org. It's finished over on TalkSport 2 in the Championship. Blackburn Rovers have won by 3 goals to 2. They've beaten Cardiff City on TalkSport 2. Cardiff, 64 points from 42 games, are in 6th position in the Championship, and Blackburn move up to 9th. They're within a point of Swansea, and Derby, who have 61 points from 41, if they win their game, then they could end up getting to within goal difference of Cardiff in that final playoff berth. Substitution, Lacazette off, Nketiah on, and I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but Saka is about to come off and be replaced by Joe Willock.
Yeah, fresh legs for Arsenal, obviously, in those forward areas. And I just want to pick you up on your point. Just after you said Cardiff 2-0 up, they look as though they're certainties to be in the top 6. Spurred Blackburn on, didn't it?
Yeah, all of a sudden Mogga gets a message. Tony Mowbray doing a very good job. Here's the change then, now confirmed by the 4th official as the 2 players come on. We were lucky enough to get an advance warning of that substitution, and Lacazette trots over towards the near side, having thought just seconds ago that he'd scored, but didn't. And Bukayo Saka, who's had another reasonable game on that right-hand side. 18 years of age, we mentioned it on Saturday, how impressed he was. I spoke to him actually after the game, and he said he would be going back to watch clips to work out how he could improve, because he didn't think he had the best 45 minutes of football in the first half.
Yeah, so should all young players, well, so should every footballer. Comes with the name professional, you know, doing your homework on yourself. Yeah. But he's certainly done well over the 2 games I've watched him. Very impressive. A good future in front of him.
He's signed a new long-term contract recently. Here's Tierney, lovely delivery into the box, looking to find Willock, who's come on towards the end of the game. So I was listening to a podcast this week who was suggesting that Willock is one of those players, a bit like in rugby union, especially now with the 5 substitutes. He's a finisher. He comes on towards the end of games, he's full of running, he's finding his way in the game, he's got a good touch, and he can score goals. And he's got that energy right at the end of matches to drag Arsenal towards the end of the match.
Yeah, and some players are slightly better when the game opens up a touch, aren't they, you know?
Attack challenge by Danny Ceballos goes unpunished on Jamie Vardy, and Leicester still come down the left-hand side. Barnes is pushed out of play, and a free kick is given just a yard in from the touchline. A bit of defending to do for Arsenal. Now they've made those 2 changes, the first 2 that they've made tonight. Leicester have only won 4 times against sides in the top half of the table, compared to 13 matches that they've won against the 19 sides they've faced in the bottom half of the table over the course of the season. And they're behind here to a top half side in Arsenal, who could be going above Wolverhampton Wanderers. Here's the cross from the far side. Tielemans into the near post. Martinez came and didn't get that time. Was dealt with by David Luiz, who got in front of him and headed it clear. Arsenal tried to break, so Onchu stops them from doing so, although Eddie Nketiah ended up colliding on the halfway line with Justin on this near side, and that could be a problem. The yellow card is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was no intent in what he'd done, but there was a lot of aggression in what he'd done, if you know what I mean.
Yellow card is out. Justin's on the floor. It was a bit high, wasn't it? That's all. He was nowhere near the ball as well, was he?
No, I mean, you could get sent off for that in the modern day.
You could.
Comfortably.
I wonder if VAR is going to check it. I think it is. It's a possible red card. Well, I think he's going to be sent off.
Yeah, that is a sending off tackle, sadly.
His studs are high. It's above the knee or on the knee. And I think the referee back in Stockley Park reviewing that is going to make a decision, Stuart Atwell, that he's going to say that that's a red card, because I don't think that, if you look at all the challenges that we're told are serious foul play and red cards now, that certainly is one. Now, what should happen here is, if Stuart Atwell decides that it should be a red card or could be a red card, he should be asking the referee, Chris Kavanagh, to come and have a look at the monitor. That is the protocol that they've been asked to do when they're upgrading a yellow card to a red. Now, that foot is high, it's on the knee. Anything above the ankle with studs showing could be a red card anyway. That's way above the ankle. Definitely, I think Chris Kavanagh should have a look at the monitor, don't you?
I've seen it twice, once from the front, once from the back, and both times it's a sending off. I'll be astounded if it doesn't come to anything bar a sending off. And I don't think there was any intent at all.
He's coming over to have a look at the monitor, which means that Stuart Atwell and the referee is coming over towards the near side to the referee review area, and Mikel Arteta is come over and given him some serious stick. Now, he's not supposed to do that when the referee is about to consult the monitor. I think he'll find himself in trouble for that at a later date. The referee's now watching the monitor and watching the pictures of the Eddie Nketiah incident. He's only watched one replay, turned away, he's gone over towards Nketiah, and Nketiah is going to be sent off. A red card, a straight red card for Eddie Nketiah. He's only been on the pitch a matter of minutes. He came onto the pitch just a few minutes ago, and now he has been sent off. He came on in the 71st minute of the game, and he has been sent off in the 75th. He's only on the playing surface for 4 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think there was any intent in it, but the referee had absolutely no choice but to send him off. His foot was high, he's caught the defender.
Look, we all done the briefing at PGMO headquarters.
That wasn't even a close one.
In August last year, and that was a definition of a red card, I think. I think as soon as it went to VAR, it was always going to be a red card. Now they're down to 10 men, Arsenal, and they've got to try and survive the final 15 minutes of this game and see out a victory here.
I said to you earlier, this will be a good clean sheet for Arsenal. It's got an even better clean sheet now, if they can achieve it.
If they can achieve it. But they will know that Leicester come on strong in the last quarter of an hour of matches. 17 goals in the last 15 minutes of matches, which is the joint most in the division with Manchester City. And now they're playing against 10 men.
Leicester just gone to a back four now, haven't they?
They've taken Ryan Bennett off, and they've thrown on Damari Gray on this near side. So they've gone a little bit more aggressive as they look to try and chase the game here. Arsenal, who themselves have just tweaked slightly with Aubameyang going as the lone front man, defending away to our left-hand side. Fuchs is trying to get up the pitch. He's being watched by Willock. He runs into a corner flag and the ball goes out of play.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they've not switched to this man back line and gone a bit more offensive before the sending off. I had a feeling they might have done it half time or certainly just after that. But
what did you make of Mikel Arteta's reaction to the referee as he went over to the RRA, which is the referee review area? Because you're not supposed to interfere with them, are you?
I don't know, what you're going to say to the referee or what he was. He was pointing to something on the pitch, but I don't really know what you can tell him, you know?
He was way outside of his technical area, screaming at the referee. It's not a great look, that. You might want to talk about that with Jason Cundy and Andy Goldstein straight after the game. 08717 223344. You might want to talk about Chelsea 3, Palace 2. You might want to talk about Watford 2, Norwich 1, Forest 0, Fulham 1, and that belter, or Brentford 2, Charlton 1. 2 late goals for Brentford in that game. Or the late goal for Blackburn Rovers, which secured them all 3 points away at Cardiff. 08717 223344. The best national radio phone in every weeknight with Andy and Jason is right here on TalkSport. Here is Schmeichel away to our left-hand side, bringing the ball down. Are Arsenal going to face a late Leicester onslaught? The ball is with Soyuncu, out wide left, into Tielemans. Tielemans back to the centre-half Soyuncu, then into Ndidi, wide to the right and Justin, and then Gray. Gray moves in towards the near side and then just floats the ball out towards the far left, but he overcooks that, and Willock will bring that down and shoot it towards halfway. Now it's retrieved by Soyuncu. Soyuncu out wider towards the left. He plays in Tielemans. Tielemans into Barnes, and then Barnes onto Justin. Justin looks up, plays it wide right. Gray takes over, goes back infield, gives it to Ndidi. Gray, Perez, lots of the ball for Leicester here, and now there's some space for Ndidi down the right-hand side. Into the area he goes, plays it against Ceballos. It comes off for David Luiz, who collides with Kolasinac, and it's cleared towards the halfway line eventually. And then Aubameyang tries to win the ball from Justin. It takes a deflection of the Gabon captain, and it's out on this near side and away for a throw to Leicester. Luca Torreira about to come on and try and destroy in midfield for Arsenal, just to hold on to this victory. But they've got a long time to hold on, haven't they, Stuart? Because 33 minutes raced by in the first half. I can't say it's raced by in the second half.
No, it's going to be wave after wave of attack.
Barnes into Vardy, takes a touch, goes round the goalkeeper and slides it into the side netting. The offside flag was up anyway, and his blushes are spared.
Well, fantastic movement there by Vardy, just on the last man on Luiz's shoulder, and once again, I mean, I know the officials have got the line, the penalty box line to sort of go by, but it's a great judgment call, isn't it?
Yeah, assistant on the near side, Dan Cook, making that decision down in front of us. They are eagle-eyed. That's what the assistant referees, as you now are supposed to call them, are very good at. They're very good at making those judgment calls, those offside, those tight offside calls. They pride themselves on it. Luca Torreira switching places with Dani Ceballos, whose night is finished with 10 minutes to go here, and it remains Arsenal 1, Leicester 0, but Leicester know that they're attacking a team that are down to 10 men. Nketiah sent off for a straight red card. He was given a yellow initially for his foul on Justin before it was upgraded by the VAR back at Stockley Park, Stuart Atwell. And I think we're all pretty much in agreement that that was the right decision under the letter of the law. Here is Bellerin, high into the air, flicked on by Aubameyang. Willock chasing, but it comes through to Justin, whose ball is sensible, intelligent and square into Ndidi up to the halfway line. Leicester come forward again. It's with Fuchs, and then it's on to Tielemans, and then out wide right. Dennis Pratt about to come on for Leicester City, who trail here. Lovely cross by Justin into the centre over the head of Vardy. Comes back in from Fuchs, and it's cleared away by Arsenal, who get a little bit lucky with that second delivery, but that first one from Justin was an absolute peach. It was bending and whipping, and it was only just a little bit over the top of Vardy's head. I thought maybe he could have reacted a little bit better there.
It was an outstanding cross, typical fullback's cross, probably a la Gary Neville from yesteryear.
I thought you were going to say typical Stuart Pearce cross.
No. What would his right foot behave?
He just said fullback, to be fair.
and Fuchs on the other side, why he's took it first time, I don't know. You know, he had clear space, he should, and he's just helped it back into the box again. he'd have been better suited, I think, taking a touch and maybe driving at goal.
Pratt on for Ndidi. In the final 8 minutes of the game, we will have some stoppages at the end. There'll be additional time because of the injuries to Mustafi, Tierney, and loads in between. Kolasinac's head clash as well. Arsenal 1, Leicester 0 on TalkSport with the Next Generation Nissan Duke. Tonight, together, let's move beyond. Here on the left side, the ball is with Christian Fuchs. Austrian sends it back to Soyuncu, who is in an elite club. Just 2 players in the Premier League this season have made more successful passes than Charles Soyuncu. Does a lot well at the heart of that defence. Tielemans, just the 1 goal separating these 2 teams. Scored by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the first half. Saka setting him up, Aubameyang finishing, and Arsenal hitting the front. Are they going to stay there? Are they going to win a 4th successive game to nil in the Premier League?
Well, on the run of play, you would say, certainly on their first half performance, they're half deserving of it at present.
I reckon they've got to win all their games to finish in the top 4 or 5. And depending on what happens next week with Manchester City's appeal, they've got Tottenham next away from home, Liverpool at home after that, Villa and then Watford before the end of the season. Arsenal, Leicester, whose top 4 credentials are being tested to the max here. Bournemouth away next, Sheffield United at home, Tottenham away, and Manchester United at home on the final day of the season.
Could be a very good game, that one, couldn't it?
Could indeed. Here on the halfway line is Tielemans, square through the centre circle. It's picked up by Johnny Evans, out wide to Justin. Justin on towards Gray. Gray, the substitute, tickles towards the edge of the penalty area, stops and gives it back to Pratt. Pratt holds on to the ball, went to go on the outside, then turned back infield. Arsenal very congested on the edge of their own penalty area. Everybody's behind the ball helping out, making sure that every single space is shut down. Back with Johnny Evans again. Forward to Justin. Leicester coming in search of an equaliser. Gray takes it on, moves towards the edge of the area, rolls his studs over the ball, turns back, gives it to Pratt, faced up by Tierney, back into Gray. So congested, difficult to pick a way through. Gray finds one towards the back post, and Vardy is there. Of course he is. Leicester's greatest ever player haunts Arsenal again. It's another goal against the Gunners, his 7th in 6 games against Arsenal, and he equalises right at the very end. It's an excellent ball through the centre, played in by Damari Gray, and well converted by Jamie Vardy, who makes it Arsenal 1, Leicester 1.
Well, he's whipped a great ball in there, Gray. They were very patient with their build-up, but the one thing you can't do if you're an Arsenal defender is you can't at any given time lose track of where Vardy is.
What a fantastic ball that was from Gray, and what a brilliant run from Vardy.
It was. I think he's whipped it in. There was a touch as well, by the way. I'm not sure what Leicester player it was, but there might be an offside. Because
VAR is looking at this. Was there a touch?
There was.
Off the boot of Iosi Perez. I'm not sure there was.
The spin of the ball changes, I think.
Well, the ball comes in. If Iosi Perez touches that, it might have done the bottom of the stud. Then it might be a possible offside against Jamie Vardy. And this goal, which Jamie Vardy, Brendan Rodgers and the entire Leicester backroom staff thought was the equaliser, may well be ruled out for offside. The referee is waiting for the instruction from Stockley Park. Stuart Atwell reviewing this. He's already made one big call by sending off Eddie Nketiah. If he determines that the ball has been touched by Perez,
or is Vardy behind the ball, is another question that will be being asked.
Well, there's a multiple number of incidents here, because first of all, was Perez offside when the initial ball was played? Did he touch it? Then, if he did touch it and he was in an onside position, is Vardy behind the ball? All of those things being analysed back at Stockley Park with the crosshair system and the lines that are being drawn on the pitch. The referee seems to be satisfied. The decision is goal, and it is indeed 1-1 at the Emirates Stadium, much to the relief of Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, and I think at this stage Brendan will be forcing his side forward, thinking that he can get the winner.
1-1. Can Leicester come from behind? It's the first goal that Arsenal have conceded in a while. They've done it after going down to 10 men, and now they've got to try and see out the final 4 minutes of this game and escape with a point. David Luiz wants a free kick on this near side. Leicester want to get things moving again quickly. They ran up the touchline, snatched the ball from him, and now are preparing to cultivate another attack.
What Luiz was doing there, I do not know. He's backed himself into a corner, then planted his feet, and then just tried to buy a free kick.
Why is the referee not allowing this to continue? Is he checking for a possible red card?
I really don't know.
He stopped the game. He's not allowing this to restart. Now he's satisfied that everything's okay, and he is going to allow things to go. I think there was some suggestion there might have been a tangle between Luiz and Justin on this near side. Anyway, they've cleared that up and we're back underway again. VAR certainly played its part in this game. It certainly increased the tension and drama inside a very gloomy, wet and rather odd evening in North London. A day that started with bright sunshine in the capital but is very much finished with torrential rain. Not the kind of weather you'd expect on July the 7th, but we have it. There you go. Here's Barnes trying to send Perez away down the left-hand side. There was a foul on Barnes when he released that ball, and a yellow card has come out for Mustafi, and they'll pull this back for a free kick right on the cusp of the centre circle. And this is a real opportunity for Leicester to get forward again with just 2 minutes of normal time remaining.
Well, this will show how well schooled Arsenal are as a defensive unit. You know, it's wave after wave of Leicester attack. It's about concentration, shuttling across the pitch, doing your one-on-ones.
We did tell you that Leicester City have scored now more goals than anybody else in the last 15 minutes of matches in the Premier League this season. And true to their word, they've delivered. Out on the left, the ball has been played centrally by Fuchs to Barnes. Tries to take it infield. It's cut away by Mustafi up to the halfway line. Evans brings it down. There's almost like a mist or a haze over the pitch, such as the torrential fine rain down in front of us. The ball comes forward from Justin into the path of Gray. Gray, who's made an impact with a brilliant assist since coming off the bench here in the second half. The ball played infield. Centrally is Tielemans. Back to Soyuncu at the back edge of the area. Pratt was calling for the ball, had his hand in the sky. Once it's sent out towards this near side where there's a bit more space, it's still very congested on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Evans, room to stroll forward, gives it to Tielemans. Tielemans to Perez. Now the ball will come towards this near side. Nudged away by Kolasinac, but only as far as Pratt. Vardy on the shoulder of the last defender, right on the edge of the D, waiting to pounce as soon as the ball comes his way. Leicester with patient build-up, nudging it around on the edge of the box. Tielemans, Gray, back to Tielemans, Justin, space out wide down the right for Perez, who wants to take on Tierney. A little dart from Pratt, back in by Justin, centre field again, back to the right. This is good football from Leicester. Pratt into the centre, comes towards Gray, looks to get away from the defender, goes down, half-hearted appeal, nothing doing, says the referee.
Yeah, Leicester are being very, very patient. They've got to keep pulling Arsenal from side to side, but not lose track of the fact they've got to deliver the ball eventually. Tell you what, there's a slight challenge there from Luiz.
I tell you what, David Luiz has given away 4 Premier League penalties already this season. Is very, very lucky. I thought, after looking at the replay, the VAR might have a little consideration there.
There was a hint of contact, it's fair to say.
8 minutes of added time at the end of the game. Even Stuart Atwell didn't want to get involved that time.
Stuart's gone home. He shut the office up at Stockley and got home.
Pratt plays a poor ball down the right-hand side. The Leicester bench gets up and roars at him for not giving the ball into the path of Damari Gray, who seemed to be fouled by David Luiz inside the penalty area as he went for the ball just moments ago. We're into the final few minutes. 1-1 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport live at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal trying to hold on for dear life here. They want to go within a point of Chelsea with 59 at the end of this game. But they want to go back above them if possible, and that would require yet another goal. Brendan Rodgers is urging his team on. 8 minutes have been added, of which we have played just 1. There's a long way to go yet.
I think after the first half, Brendan will be delighted it's 1-1 at present, you know. But he'll still be wanting more at this stage.
Arsenal scored late goals as well recently. Late goal on Saturday against Wolverhampton Wanderers, a late goal in the game at Sheffield United the week before. But it's Leicester City who are full throttle going for the winner here. This will only be the second time in Premier League history that Leicester have picked up a point at Arsenal. Leicester's only other Premier League away point at Arsenal was a 1-1 draw in February 1995. Paul Merson scored for George Graham's Arsenal. Mark Draper equalised for Mark McGee's Leicester. Another stoppage.
Yeah, change. What have we got for Arsenal?
Maitland-Niles is coming on, but that's not the stoppage, is it? I think now they're waiting for Aubameyang to come over to the near side. He gives the armband to Xhaka. Xhaka was given the captaincy and stripped of the captaincy within 5 weeks of the autumn. But whenever Aubameyang's not on the field, he seems to be getting it back again now. And I think Xhaka has been pretty good for Arteta since he turned up. Aubameyang off, having added to his goal tally, only to see Jamie Vardy add to his and ensure that cushion of 2 between them at the top of the Premier League goal scoring charts was there again. Been waiting a long time for that 100th goal. He's now got 103, 102, sorry. Now looking for the 103rd. Here is Barnes spinning away from Bellerin out on the far side. Little nudge by Barnes takes it out of play.
Yeah, should have done better there, Barnes. Just tried to spin round the corner in one go and just got it wrong.
Arsenal have drawn more league matches than they've won this season. This will be their 14th draw, but they'll take this after being reduced to 10 men when Eddie Nketiah was sent off for what looked quite a nasty challenge on the replay. There was certainly no real intent from Eddie Nketiah to damage James Justin, but I think the referee, after the review of the monitor, didn't need more than one look at the monitor before backing up the VAR's decision. Here is Maitland-Niles out to the right-hand side, plays it on towards Bellerin. Maitland-Niles goes further wide. He's halfway inside opposition territory when he sends it on to Willock. Willock runs down the right, tries to take on Soyuncu. Maitland-Niles takes over and bounces into the box. It's half cleared. It's picked up by Barnes, who tries to turn it over. He's given it away again. It's an Arsenal throw deep inside their own territory, and we're into the 5th of 8 added minutes at the end of this 90 minutes. Here is Willock, who has picked the ball up and he's taken it away from the defender into the area. Willock into the box, blocked by Soyuncu. Great defending by him. Timed his tackle. His intervention was perfect.
He stood up really well, kept his eye on the ball. You can't get them wrong, that is for sure.
Justin over the halfway line. Leicester coming forward. Oh, Tierney went sliding across the wet turf. And Gray had to jump out the way of the challenge. The ball went straight out and away for an Arsenal throw, and they'll take their time over this. Still 3 added minutes to go. Tierney not in any hurry at all to walk over to pick up the ball. In fact, there was a ball on a plinth closer to him, and he's decided to go into the first row of the stand to go and pick it up, just to waste a few precious seconds at the end of this 90 minutes. Leicester have failed to back up their first win after the restart with another victory. I wonder whether or not they will see this as a point earned or 2 points dropped. What do you reckon? Probably a point earned on the balance of play from the first 45 minutes.
Definitely, yeah, I think so. On the road, especially with their form here.
Not very often they come to Arsenal and get a point, as I've already mentioned, and they're going to do that today. They may get all 3 if they can get one more chance for Jamie Vardy. Mikel Arteta hoping that his team can hang on here for a point. Whatever the situation, Leicester's position in the top 4 will certainly be loosening, because you look at Manchester United's fixture this week, they can go within a point now of Leicester City. It's going to be some old tussle trying to sort out who's going to finish in the top 4 between now and the end of the campaign. We will follow that journey for you, as we will keep across all of the issues, the relegation, the playoffs, And who will win the title in the Championship here on TalkSport and TalkSport 2? Here's Barnes down the left. Can he get into an advanced position? Mustafi away, falling, clears. Tielemans wins it back. He sends it out to Fuchs. Back in field it goes. It's collected and played forward by Soyuncu. Out to the right and Justin. Is there going to be one more chance for Leicester City? This is the 52nd minute of the second half. Here is Tielemans. Justin making a dart from the outside to in, looking to unsettle the Leicester defence. No one spots him, so the ball goes wide. Gray takes over now, comes in left-footed. His ball into the box is not as precise as the one that created the Vardy goal. It arcs away from Vardy and down the throat of Martinez.
Yeah, they've been very patient, Leicester, waiting for the right opportunity, but Arsenal have got so many men back, they've made it very difficult to even get a crossing opportunity in.
Tielemans, then on to Pratt, now on to Justin. Arteta screams at Willett, get back, help out, get back. Gray comes on the right for Leicester, into Pratt on the edge of the area, a drag back by Perez, back to Gray, low cross into the centre, almost falls to Barnes, it's just behind him, and the actions of those on the Leicester bench just illustrates the frustration, because that was a chance, that could have been the moment, but it just skewed behind Barnes rather than in front of him and goes out of play. Still they have it, Leicester, into the 53rd minute of the second half. 8 minutes of added time have been allotted and nearly played. Is there one more chance? Fuchs into the centre, Kolasinac away, down by Gray, comes to Pratt over the top of the crossbar, and Brendan Rodgers bounces up like a jack out of a box, claps his team and knows that that may be the last chance of the night.
Yeah, Pratt just leaning back on that one. Good opportunity, good setback by Gray, but he just leant back on it with two chargers bearing down on him.
There's the full-time whistle, and Leicester's grip on a place in the top four is certainly loosening. At one stage the gap to fifth was a chasm, now it's paper thin. For the 13th time in 18 matches, the Foxes have failed to win, and with games against Sheffield United, Spurs and Manchester United to come, they will need all of their resolve if they want to be playing Champions League football next season. Arsenal won't be playing that for a while, but they are showing some improvement under Mikel Arteta. They showed a bit of resilience towards the end of that game despite being reduced to 10 men. It's finished here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 1, Leicester 1.